Hello friends, this is Carrie and welcome back to I Like Reddit channel. I hope you all are staying safe and healthy. Today we have 4 stories out of the Entitled Parents subreddit. Let's begin. Our first post is by X Orionis. Let me kidnap you or else. I posted this about a few weeks ago somewhere else, but I think this story would be an interesting fit here. A bit of backstory. My parents were extremely abusive to the point that I was diagnosed with depression at 10 and PTSD at 13. By the time I was 18, they began threatening me more, and I ended up running away to live with my partner overseas. Yes, I met him twice before this in person and knew he was real. When I got there and decided to stay, I called my mom to tell her that I wasn't coming back and I was cutting contact with her and my dad. I told her I was safe and happy and wished her well. She didn't take it well, along with a load of insults and abuse, threatened to hurt herself if I didn't return. 2 days later, police were at our door at 3 a.m. with a report from her saying that my partner kidnapped me and I was mentally delayed, so he was taking advantage of me. Needless to say, these reports were completely unfounded. 2 years of harassment, threats, and BS later, I had stopped engaging with them whenever they did stuff. That's when it happened. I'm still in contact with my godparents, and I was warned that my parents had made plans to travel over 3,000 miles to the country I'm living in with the sole purpose of tracking me down and taking me back against my will. They had literally planned to pick me off the street, take me on a flight back. I came up with a plan. I have been to the police several times during the past 2 years and kept a paper trail just in case. I went to the police about their plans and was placed on a vulnerable persons list. A day before they came to a whole different country, my godparent had made me aware of them begging my uncle, a former police officer, to help them track down my new address, as I am no longer living at the last address they found out about and thus have no idea where I'm living. Of course, my uncle was no help. You'd think this is where it ends, as you can't possibly expect to land in a new country and be able to track someone's location then and there, right? Nah, they aren't too smart. So they land in the country and show up at my last address, only to find I'm not there. No one there knows where I am. With nothing left to turn to, they walk into a police station. They asked for help finding their missing daughter, and once they gave my age, name, their names, it was all over for them. They were caught violating a no-contact order and apparently argued to the police that I am mentally regressed and kidnapped by a pedo. My husband was 21 at the time, while I was 20, along with saying that I need supervision, etc. But with previous false police reports and a long paper trail of evidence documenting their abuse, they didn't have a leg to stand on. Finally, I had the police show up at my door to relay all this information. They also tell me how after my parents argued on and on about how they deserved to see their mentally ill daughter and were refused, they turned around and asked for a welfare check. Because that crazy man is keeping her captive. They demanded the officers take me to them since we're her parents, so we legally have the right to be around her. I had to laugh with the officers, especially when they told me my parents had left a phone number to call them on to talk, but didn't think to get a SIM card for the country and kept the one from theirs on another continent. I of course declined and reinstated my desire for no contact. Apparently after being told this, they lost their crap at the officers to the point they were ordered to leave the country or face charges of stalking and harassment. They left of course and began telling everyone how selfish I was. They began saying how depressed they were, but weren't smart since only a couple of hours after they were reprimanded by authorities, took videos of them partying, drinking, dancing, and laughing together. The day after, they were posting about their shopping spree in Paris and partying. But yeah, I do that too when I'm depressed. They went home and continued talking smack about me for not letting them take me back, and made up stories about how myself and my husband are on drugs. Neither of us have even touched as much as a cigarette in our lives, but go off, I guess. Not working, both mentally unstable delinquents, etc. Along with accusations that my husband assaulted me and such. All because I didn't let them take me. There is a good end for this, though. They were stupid enough to barge into the house of my godparent and threaten her in front of her young children and husband, who is an officer. Word got around quickly, and now people are starting to see them for who they truly are. There's no chance they'll be allowed in the country again after now 2 false police reports and a possible case for stalking/harassment/etc. So I'm safe here. Probably worth mentioning they're pretty wealthy and rely mainly on my dad's business. Word is now that he's been exposed. That's plummeting. All's well that ends well. Edit. Oh my god, thank you so much for all of the support. It really makes me realize how everything they did back then really wasn't normal. I struggled to see that for a while and I'm only coming to terms with everything now. For those asking, yes, I'm okay now and safe. I also have plenty of stories of these EPs I'll probably post later on. Thank you again for all your kind words. I've tried to answer a few questions in the comments. Update. Turns out my parents called and threatened my godparents last night. There are talks of them wanting to sue me for slander. If I receive anything including a court date, I'm ready to take them down and will update. Our second story is by Messy Dark Healer. EM tries to take my baby because I'm an unfit parent who caused my child's head injury at birth. Hello. Sorry for any errors. This happened a few years ago. I thought to share as memories of this event came back to me while my son is getting scans for his head early today. Hopefully this is the right page to post this on. Backstory. My son was born, doctor pulled him too hard causing his head to be misshapen. They even tried to hide it under a hat because they didn't want to stress us out due to it being a difficult birth. When the midwife saw his head, she quickly left the room and I heard yelling. Doctors said it would be fine, it would be back to normal. 3 years later, he's still in pain. Taken 2.5 years to be taken seriously. The midwife was not there during birth due to her child having a car accident. So on to the story. My son, 2 months old at this point, my sister wanted to get some school supplies at the mall. I thought, why not? It's a nice day to drive an hour to the mall. We're at the mall and having a good time. I need to change the baby. Sister didn't want to go into the parents' room with me because she said it's only for parents and a 13-year-old in there would be weird. So she waited on a seat outside. I put him on the changing table, his hat comes off and I quickly put it back on. But as I was about to do that, I heard screaming. Me thinking of what happened. Did someone drop their child? I noticed a woman next to me looking in horror at my child. EM. What's that? Me. A baby. EM. No, it's on his head. Me. A hat? EM. Are you stupid? Under the hat. Me. Oh, that. It's a lump caused by an injury at birth. EM. So you tried brain damage your child? Me. No, it's... EM tries to grab him. I slap her hand away and say, don't touch him. Then she tried again, and I push her with my arm. She acted like I was trying to kill her or something because she's screaming like she's hurt and crying. I try to leave, she blocks me. Me. Move, I'm leaving. EM. No, that's my baby. You can't look after it. I will take it. Me looking at her child still on the changing table, trying to roll a bit of distance away from where she is blocking me. Well, you should look after your own child. Point at her child as it was about to roll off the changing table. She catches her child just before she rolls over, but blamed me for that. A security guard showed up. Security guard. What's happening here? Me. EM yells. She has my baby, and she's hurting it. Security guard. Miss, is that your baby, or are you lying to me? You will be banned if you're lying. EM. She stole it and caused brain damage to it, so I'm taking it. Security guard. I thought you said the baby was yours. And if it is your baby, why don't you have a double pram? Is your child a boy or a girl? EM tries to grab him again in anger, but security guard grabs her arm. I wouldn't do that if I were you. The EM spits on him, and he calls for backup. Security guard. We know it's not your baby. Look up there. It's a security camera. EM yells that he's a pervert because he's in the parents' room, and that is a camera. They take her away, but she didn't want to give up the fight. She was screaming and kicking, and I think she even did some damage. After all that mess was over, talked to the security guard and gave him my contact info in case the police needed it to get a hold of me. Let me go on my way. My sister asked what happened and I told her as we are leaving. Saw the EM being put into a police car. All you could hear was her screaming. Sorry for the long post. I hope everyone has a good day. Didn't hear anything from the police, but I did hear on the news that a lady tried to kidnap a baby at the mall, so I'm pretty sure that that was her that they were talking about. There were other mums in the parents' room, but they all just watched and didn't help. If you've been watching until here and are enjoying my content, please put some heart emojis in the comment section down below. Our third story is posted by Kitty1339. Entitled Dad Demands a Meeting Room to Speak with His Daughter. Sir, You aren't allowed to see her. So, background info. I worked at a high school in a low socioeconomic area for a while. Now, when you work at a school, you have a database of students' names with basic information like parents' contact, medical information, and restricted access notes. Restricted access notes just mean that the child is not allowed to be seen by certain people, whether it's due to divorce or something worse. This day was like any other, and I was absolutely flat out trying to get work done and deal with phone calls. This dad walks in around third period and takes a seat, seeing that I'm busy. Eventually, I call him over and ask him how I can help him. Cast. Me. ED, entitled dad. C, child. ED. Yes, I'd like to use one of your meeting rooms to speak with child, please. Me. I'm sorry, I'll have to check if a meeting room is available for such thing without a staff member present. They weren't allowed, by the way. ED. No, it has to be just me and her. He started to fidget at this point. Me. I knew something was up. What was the student's last name and what's your name? He gave me the names and I looked her up in the system. She had a restricted access. Not for her father, who was the man standing in front of me. Obviously, I can't see the details on the notes, but it does state that there is a restraining order against the father. Me. I'm sorry, sir, but there's no one by that name attending this school. ED. No, I know she does. This is the only high school in the area. Just let me talk to her. Me. Again, sir, there's no one here by that name. I can't help you. ED. I'm gonna talk to her mother, you bunch of jerks. Trying to keep me away from my daughter? She's my daughter. I can see her if I want to. He called me a few other derogatory terms before leaving the office in a rage. I just ended up sighing, calling the mother to let her know what happened, before writing up a report of our interaction in case the police were involved. The mother eventually came to pick up her daughter early. Too long didn't read. Dad tries to collect kid, even though there was a restraining order against him, gets mad at me for it. Our final post is by Hey, it's me, look! Entitled Stepdad Steals My Car. So I shared a story about my dad, but here's a recent one about my stepdad. So background is, I got a new car and agreed to sell my old one to my stepdad. Soon to be ex-stepdad, my mom got the car in the divorce. It was an old Subaru, but well maintained, and I could have easily gotten $3,000 from it, but for him, I wanted $50 a month for 10 months. I got $100 for the first 2 months after giving him the car, but that's all I received for the car. He later changed his number so I couldn't contact him, but later I saw him when he went to pick up my sister from my mom. He had my car, and it was covered in dents, and on a spare tire, and a big crack in the windshield. Here's our cast. Me. ESD, entitled Prick, S, sister. Entitled Stepdad. It's my car. I paid for it. Me. No, you stole it and paid me one payment and then ghosted me. Entitled Stepdad. Well, I need it for your sister, so you can't have it back. Me. Then let's make a payment plan you can follow. I need the money. Entitled Stepdad. No, you have $100. You just bought a car. You have enough money. Me. That's not how it works. Entitled Stepdad. It's my car, and if you call the police, I'll tell them you're trying to steal it from me. Me. No, I'm revoking your permission to drive it. When you return my sister to my mom's, I will be calling the police if you don't give her the keys or me the money. Entitled Stepdad. Well, I'll just crash the car with your sister in it, and she'll get hurt, and it will be all your fault. Me. Fine. I won't call the cops. Be safe, a-hole. He left. I let my mom know what he said, and she reported him to her friend, the police chief. He got pulled over, and he was caught with drugs and tried to blame me and say they were mine. Seeing as I had proof that he had been driving it, even though it was still registered to me, he was unable to pin it on me. People in the comment section were asking about what had happened with the car, and the OP said that the car is back in his possession, and the entitled stepdad is on the hook for paying for the repairs to the car. That's all the stories I have for today. Links to the original Reddit posts will be in the description box below. Please stop on by Reddit to show the OP some love and an upvote. If you enjoy my content, please comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell notification to let you know when I've uploaded new videos. Thank you for watching and have a great day.